You ever wake up in the middle of the night, heart pounding with that gut feeling? Something is just plain wrong. That was me at 3 in the morning, dragged out of a dead sleep by my security system, pinging like crazy. And let me tell you, 20 years in cybersecurity teaches you a thing or two about when a false alarm is just some neighbor's Wi-Fi acting up and when you're about to step into something way over the line. That night, something was different. Something cold. I made my way downstairs in the dark, careful not to wake Sarah. Pulled up my diagnostic dashboard and stared at the screen, expecting the usual. Instead, I found a rogue GPS tracker blaring live location data from somewhere on our property. Not just any tracker either. This one was top-tier government-issue Genesis 7 Alpha. My company builds them, for crying out loud. Blackwater Digital Security. I literally signed off on this model. So now I'm sitting there staring at this strong, steady signal and realizing somebody has used my own tech to spy on us. My hands were shaking. This thing was uploading our coordinate speed every 30 seconds to an outside server. The kicker. The heat map said it was coming from right under Sarah's Honda Civic in the garage. Now you want to feel paranoia? Try sneaking into your own garage at 3 a.m. flashlight in hand, looking for a blinking blue light. Sure enough, there it was, industrial magnets, rear axle, neat as you please. I designed this device myself, and here it was being used against us. Back in my office, I went to work pulling every data log timestamp installation record transmission IP address. This wasn't some amateur hour. The tracker had been running for weeks. 3 weeks, to be exact, activated on a Tuesday afternoon at 2:15. I checked our calendar. That was the day Karen Piton and her so-called neighborhood watch came by for one of their courtesy inspections. You know those little walkthroughs HOAs love to do supposedly to make sure your shrubs aren't offending anyone's sense of order. Only now it's pretty clear Karen and her crew weren't just counting dandelions. They were planting military-grade trackers. Now, Karen Piton, if you've never met her, is the self-appointed moral compass of Willow Creek Estates. Perfectly coiffed silver hair clipboard surgically attached to her arm and a smile you'd swear was genuine if it ever made it to her eyes. From the moment Sarah and I moved in, Karen let us know we were on her radar. At first, we figured it was just your run-of-the-mill HOA nosiness, but her attention kept narrowing on us. Why did Sarah travel for work? Why was I up late in my office? Why did our furniture not match her antique vision for the community? The breaking point came when Sarah missed a few HOA meetings. Karen showed up paper in hand asking for explanations. She made snide comments about married women who travel and husbands who are too trusting. Yeah, that happened. Pulling up the GPS data, my stomach dropped. Every single thing Sarah did, grocery runs, lunch meetings, yoga class, tracked and uploaded to a server registered to an IP in our neighborhood. I dug deeper and there it was, Karen's address. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Not only was she spying on us, she was archiving it at home. But instead of blowing up at her right away, I started playing the long game, documenting every byte of data she was stealing. If Karen was this brazen, what else was she up to? So I requested a security audit of the HOA systems, legit professional, and yeah, a little bit personal. She signed off without a second thought, probably thinking she'd get a gold star for transparency. Joke's on her, because within hours I was neck-deep in a digital swamp. Turns out Karen was running a full-blown surveillance state with hidden cameras, Wi-Fi hacks, email, interceptions files on dozens of families. I found behavioral reports recommending fines and even eviction for families she didn't like. It was a machine for control, and the GPS tracker on Sarah's car was just the start. Pretty soon, Karen ramped up the pressure-snide comments at the mailbox, anonymous notes questioning Sarah's loyalty, public confrontations. She cornered Sarah at the pool, accusing her of setting a bad example for other wives. The message was clear: fit the mold or get out. That's when I realized this was more than creepy. This was dangerous. Time for law enforcement. Our lawyer, Rebecca Morrison, specializes in cybercrime. When I showed her what I'd dug up, she went straight to the district attorney. Detective Martinez from the cybercrime unit took one look at my files and started prepping warrants. And all the while, Karen strutted around planning a big HOA hearing to deal with our violations of community morality. She invited the whole neighborhood, set up charts and graphs ready to air our crimes in public. But Detective Martinez was already listening in. The hearing became the sting operation. Thursday night, the place was packed. Karen held court up front, presenting her evidence, telling the crowd how wives needed to be home more, how Sarah's work travel threatened community values. Then she opened the floor. And this is where it all flipped, because instead of backing her up, neighbors started telling their own stories. Mrs. Patterson on Oak Street. Karen interrogated her daughter about after-school plans. The Rodriguez family harassed for solar panels. Mr. Jen demanded Wi-Fi access for security reasons. The room turned. Karen lost it, started threatening everyone with fines, waving her authority around like a club. That's when Rebecca stood up and introduced herself as our lawyer, announced the criminal charges for illegal surveillance, explained what law enforcement had found. You could have heard a pin drop. And then Martinez and his team came in calm and professional and put Karen in handcuffs right there in front of everyone. She looked like she'd been hit by a truck. News spread like wildfire. Local media latched onto the story. HOA president turns neighborhood into a surveillance state, gets taken down by the guy whose tech she tried to use against him. Lawsuits flew, and Karen's dirty secrets came tumbling out. Turns out she'd been spying for 3 years, keeping elimination lists for families she wanted gone, bribing maintenance staff for keys, intercepting mail. She'd even been selling private info to private investigators and divorce lawyers. Suddenly, the feds got involved, wiretapping, racketeering, mail fraud. The whole 9 yards. In court, Karen's lawyers tried to play it off as community concern, but that fell apart fast when prosecutors showed she was making thousands every month selling our secrets. Families lined up to share what she'd done to them. The Morrisons, whose medical records she used to pressure them out of their home, the Williams family tracked for their grocery purchases. She pled guilty, took 8 years in federal prison, massive fines, and a permanent ban on any position of authority. The civil case wrecked the HOA bankruptcy millions in damages co-conspirators named insurance wrangling. The case made headlines, spurred new laws, brought privacy rights to the front page. Our neighborhood, once tight-lipped and nervous, started talking support groups, privacy workshops, even mental health counseling for kids who realized their childhoods had been watched and recorded. And the final twist, Karen's house, the nerve center of her little empire, was foreclosed to pay her debts. My company bought it at auction and turned it into a training center for privacy rights and cybersecurity. We mounted the original GPS tracker in the lobby plaque, and all as a lesson. Invasion of privacy begins where trust ends. Law enforcement, privacy advocates, even other HOA victims, came to see how technology meant for safety can be warped for control, and how communities can fight back. Sarah became an advocate for privacy rights, even changed careers. Other neighbors got involved, started nonprofits, wrote curriculums, spread the word. Our story showed up in textbooks, law classes, public forums. On the anniversary of Karen's arrest, the neighborhood would throw a party, not to celebrate her downfall, but to remind ourselves what real community looks like when people trust each other instead of spying on each other. I guess the moral is sometimes the people with the most power and the biggest smiles are the ones you've got to keep an eye on. And sometimes the little device that starts all the trouble, well, if you know what you're doing, it can bring the whole house of cards down. Privacy trust community, they're worth fighting for, even if you have to stand up to the ones who claim they're just protecting you. So, what do you think? Were we right to fight back, or did we go too far? Where's the line between security and control in a place you call home? I'd love to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts below, because trust me, this debate is only just getting started.